ladies and gentlemen. We like.
Welcome, black boys and girls. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely had to come back. First off, we looking good with this all black on. Like I'm just gonna tell you that. I didn't line that up. I didn't tell him what to wear, but god damn it. Welcome everyone that is tapping in to our follow-up to what was a very, first off, give yourself a hand. Just give yourself a hand. I wanna talk about the oh man. We just have to get there. This is it was more heartwarming.
When you don't think you're gonna reach what you're gonna reach, and all of a sudden you're reaching it.
See, we're not even gonna talk in that nature. But welcome everyone.
Drew Network.
Welcome to our follow-up to a boy, that was interesting in so many ways. Let's get to that. It was so many. It was, as I only watched it like 1.5 times. Okay. And I realized there was a few things that I should have talked about that I didn't. And I want to also for me and you, we're going to do another round of applause because
we
were so poised. And there's certain words, and I know this. There are certain words that you're not supposed to use when you're talking about yourself.
But damn it, today.
But we embodied that. And for the people who can hear, yes, I told my son we were getting ready to do this wonderful podcast video, but he's playing Madden online.
So he will be beaten.
Yeah. Well, he's losing. I went in there, he was losing. But that's another story. We are going in this video, we are going to basically cover anything that we didn't cover in the last one. We're also going to just go back to our fellow I don't even know what to call them, honestly. They reached out and their words were so, they reached out heartwarming. So heartwarming. That's you. That's you right there. But go ahead. You can take it from here because I really want to just get to some of the comments and some of the things that were some of the people that just reached out to us. These are strangers that
I didn't think it would happen so quickly. I think over time, I thought the message applies to people, so you'll hear from someone, but to receive real person-to-person interactive
feedback
real
fast.
It was literally, oh my goodness.
I never read words from a stranger and was almost brought to tears.
And in the best of ways.
It was the best.
And in the best
it was
of
like
ways.
I was letting them know and they were letting me know, like, man, you didn't do a bad thing. You didn't do anything left field. You know, you weren't acting out of character. You know, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who tapped in to that video. If you didn't see our original video, this is really just a follow-up. Go and watch that. And like I said in that video, if it was for you, it was for you. Did you want to start with some of the comments from the video? Because
Definitely.
when we really hear these words from other people who do not know us, who have gone through just that same empty feeling with your family, where it's just moments of just wasted, just oh. I also wanted to, before we get to the comments, I wanted to talk about the beard situation, because the beard situation was it became interesting to me. And that is really what started me even doing any research. And mind you, I haven't gone to a Kingdom Hall since, man, it was before the year 2000. It was before then.
No,
Okay?
it wasn't that long.
No, not before, since I've been there. You're right.
But about there.
But about there.
It's about there.
Basically, the whole thing about the beards, everything is just changed.
And really what you just said actually goes to attest to how much it still affects the everyday life of a person. Here we are in 2024, and something that happened over 20 years ago, a life change that happened 20 some odd years ago. Number one, you're still living in the wake of, you still have family members who are on separate sides of interaction, and your everyday life, your thinking, your processing, there's always still that background thought and filter that sometimes your thoughts will go through. And for some things, it's beneficial, but for so much, it's just like it's painful to remember all the things that you went through, and the things that we're still going through today.
Yeah, that was very just telling. And it was so, we said this in the last video that we did on this. It was arbitrary. A lot of it is just like made up, made up metrics slash whatever they wanted it to be. And boy, it really kind of just to this day just pains me to think about the lost time with my mother, who is no longer here, and rest in peace to her. It's just like, like what a lot was lost. And it's just,
And
just
doing
because
this, you realize that how much is now gained in sharing the loss of our past, and literally the people, literal people. Just in this week, one of the comments stands out: great story, my brothers. And that just, the first sentence is like letting you know you get a whole new family, a legit family that's based on something that isn't so fickle, that isn't so arbitrary. When you see great story, my brothers, I can relate to so much of
I
this.
think you might have tapped into that comment, because I actually replied back to that person, and I let him know, because he said something about his brother was an elder. It might not have been that comment, but he said his brother was an elder, and his brother doesn't rock with him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And just to give him, or attempt to make him feel okay with being himself, like he did for me, because he's like, what he did for us, just saying that, like, people don't realize that, like, what it does to somebody, shunning them and putting them like in this weird area. It's like,
Is mental solitary confinement. It is mental solitary confinement. If your world was in that world, if you were following the rules for any point in your life in that organization, then that means all your association was there. It means you probably got employment through someone there. Therefore, you're working with them, or you're working under them, or you're working vicariously by way of their reference. So the second you make that decision or you do something that goes contrary to that, you are placed in the proverbial Tartarus of the mind. You are in prison, solitary confinement. That's the sentence.
So I want to just start with the comments. A lot of y'all names are really, 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 really stretched out. But if you watch this video and you knew you typed that, shout out to you. The first one says, grew up in the hall, no longer associated with it. I can totally relate with you guys. I love your story, and it helps others that left help realize that we were not wrong. And that was a point that I made earlier where you go away and you kind of just feel like, man, did I make a mistake? Like, what am I, am I off by just being, me? But there are just many.
Are you off by being logical?
And for me, like I said in the last video, that it was nothing. Like I didn't get invested in it spiritually. I like the fact that these people around me are really nice. I like the fact that I don't feel threatened by anybody. I like the fact that everybody is kind of shooting this same shot, and I got used to it. And I was able to, just get used to being around good people. And I got hung up on like the holidays and stuff like that. And like when my big sis got this fellowship, like I said in the episode, I still talk to her. So I still had those, ways about me. But
so your response
felt,
was more emotional and moral. You were responding from that inward gut feeling.
Yeah,
of
this
knowing
doesn't feel right. Like you
ain't right.
You should not treat people this way.
Especially coming from, like you said, how well you were treated.
Oh, look at that. The first person, Keisha, shout out to you. Thank you for leaving us some thoughtful words, and just letting us know that we are here and we are here together, and we appreciate you reaching out to us. But yeah, it was just, and the whole beard thing, I don't really even know how to just tap into it. It's just, as a 15-year-old who at 17 could be in a liquor store with enough chin hair to buy a bottle without being carded. And that's another story too. Like I said in that video, the last video, when these gloves come off, because they're going to, and I'm telling you, this story, I want you to just have a box of your softest tissues. You might even need a microfiber cloth or something like that to keep the regions clear, because I'm telling you, it won't be easy for me to deliver. But all I'm telling you is that everything that my mother tried to keep me away from, she put me right in front of.
Yeah. And that, isn't it sort of like what Murphy's Law? It's like, if it can happen, it will. Especially if you're fighting against it in certain situations so hard. I almost envision a circle. If you're running on a circle and you have a starting point, at a certain point, if you just turned around, the end is right behind you. And for so many people, they're going towards something, not realizing that you're going to end up right where you started. You're going to end up where you started. This is a circular path you're running. You're not running away from something. You're getting further into it. And when you talk about the response to the whole beard and policy, and the way now it's like gaslighting and people into thinking that, oh no, that never was a policy. It's like I clearly remember a very distinct illustration that went around the whole witness world, and you'll remember this, about a brother who wouldn't shave for the kingdom of God, but then left the organization, got a job at Disney, and the illustration always goes, so he didn't shave for the kingdom of God, but he shaved for the magic kingdom. And it was sort of like made to laugh at, oh, he ended up in a place where secularly he was required to look a certain way and he was okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing about that secular looking that way. When he went on vacation, he was able to grow a beard. And if he wasn't on the clock, he could have a beard. It wasn't involving all those other things. But to now we be living in a world where we see online the messaging on jw.org to people of, oh, we just want to clear up something that some were thinking was a policy. It never was so intently. And it's like, no, that was the line, you know. Are you going to do it for the kingdom of God, or are you going to leave and do it for the magic kingdom, Mickey Mouse?
A part of me that just kind of just like when my brain goes just left field. I wonder if because I always think of everything from commercials to advertisements to how things are presented to a round table. And I always think of 4, 5, whatever number you think. And I always think there's a group of people at this table and they run these ideas by people and they say, hey, you know, if we allow them to have beards, you know, we might get a few people back, you know, because that chin hair cost us, you know. Like, how dumb do those?
And what did you say last week about the realization of who's the guy who just got reproved and or disfellowshipped and or left the organization just last week, right before the other brothers in that hall knew that this big announcement was about to be? There is someone right now on this ship.
Shout out to that man, because I'm telling you, that man exists. Because as we have shared our story, and I'm going to say thousands of people have tapped in with us, and they have let us know. Shout out to the Netherlands. Okay.
Big things happening over there.
Yes.
And again, so relevant.
We're not even going to get into, well, I'm not, because I like to know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to tell you, like he's saying, this is my brother, okay? This is my brother. Same mother, same father. And he says how I gauged that emotion when I had to make my exit. There was nothing in front of me that I looked at and said, oh, this don't make sense. No, I don't like the way you people make me feel. I don't like the way y'all stopped talking to my mother. And then it was like, whoa, it was like, not to say that I'm not connected to her, but boy, y'all the best friends were no longer. It was not easy to get my friends to come and play basketball with me as a teenager. And we moved around a lot, and we got settled in into a nice area.
It really is like a plague. Like you're at that moment, you're branded as having the disease, and they treat you as if they are going to catch it.
And when we did all that moving, we were changing kingdom halls as well. We were in the different regions. I don't really want to say exactly what those regions were, but bone in there, getting it in. But I had to go to each kingdom hall and remake friends and remake friends, and it was just I just wanted to think that everything was right, what that was going on. And it's like, as being 25 years removed from it, it just puts on it takes on a whole different like feel, And up until maybe a year before our mother passed away, she was taking my daughter to the Kingdom Hall. I didn't even know then how I felt about it, but I knew that I didn't really want my daughter going there.
Yeah. It was only the respect of our mother that allowed you to step out on that. But even then, you voiced your opinions, and you know it's hard to think that something in our lives that shaped us is also a thing that ultimately broke us apart. But it is very powerful to know that there is life after, there is reconnection. And our reconnection didn't happen after, but it solidified after. Once I finally left, it's like once my eyes were completely unveiled as to where I wanted to be, it the best thing I could probably say to someone in any situation near anything we've went through is just keep swimming, just keep moving, and what you are doing will bear fruit, because this is the truth. The truth is life. This world we're in, the family you have, the things you've experienced, that's the truth. Really living
I
life.
would have never met my missing puzzle piece had I been hanging out in a Kingdom Hall my whole life. But she would have never came through there. And we are 10 years together. And it's like, how could I, just go and just look at someone and say that just because you are not wearing the same type of sneakers I wear, or you haven't made the same life choices I wear, I'm using the sneakers arbitrarily as they use things. You're not, I have to just, you're lesser than. And to categorize people, to stereotype anyone that is not active in that religion as worldly is very intense.
It becomes your cuss word.
Yeah, it's like you're calling them. You're just you're demoting.
You're putting all the 4-letter words together into one.
You're demoting them as humans. You don't really. It's almost. No, I'm not going to use that. It's almost.
It is.
And if y'all can figure out what I said, figure it out. But when you treat people different based on who they are, so that really just I will not look at you the same because and you're not like me, so I cannot treat you differently.
And it's really that's the same ideation that forms that turns into that. And that's why that exists in the world in other ways and in that way. Because
have that in me.
It is that
in me to treat
find an other. Find a family and then identify everyone else as the other.
I think I may be such an empath. Like homeless people sometimes make me emotional where I'll be like, damn, like why are they out here like this?
Come on home.
Like, oh, if I let you take a shower, I'll be cleaning for months. And you still probably won't smell good.
But you want to try. It's something inside of you that just wants to be that person to try.
Oh man. Well, one thing y'all gonna find out about us, that is me, Drosky Wilski, the bald and bearded one, and my brother Tony T, is that we will find a way to find comedy in anything and everything.
Yes.
So,
and Keisha's comment letting us know that while being 40, she lived a life thinking that the world would not last past her 18th birthday. Keisha, yes.
Shout out to you, Keisha.
I go back to that mental thought and to think of coming into that organization at the age of 6-ish. I lived my entire childhood never thinking that the world was going to last more than a year or two. And any plans past that almost felt like you don't believe in God. Because if you're not thinking it is the end and you're planning something past that, you're setting up a secondary plan for just in case God didn't come through. No, God's gonna come through. And then every year that would pass, it would be, oh no, just a few more. Yeah. And oh yeah, that we do gotta get that. We do gotta reach this one little area. And we do got so yeah. And you justifying, and again you look up and you're 40 years old. And I am there.
I want to make a quick point real quick for anybody who's watching this and thinking that we're speaking of our mother in a bad light. She was totally convinced. Therefore, she led her house to something that was righteous in her mind. Okay, so to anybody that's thinking that we're like, dogpiling or doing anything like that, do not get this misconstrued. This is strictly us.
Our focus is on the bamboozlement, not the fact that someone we love was also bamboozled.
Yeah, because if it was,
we are exposing the bamboozlement.
If it was our dad who brought us to a kingdom hall, we would be speaking of our father.
And then other people who aren't associated with Jehovah's Witnesses or other high control groups, believe it or not, they live their life. And if their family was very strict in their faith, they led lives with similar parameters. It may not have had all the walls that our box contained, but to them it would feel the same. If they were in a very strict Catholic home, if they were in a very strict Jewish home, then their parents said, you better not bring this home, or you better only bring that kind of person home, and you better do this on Saturday, and you better do this next Sunday. And so the reality is that so many people are in something, not realizing that it is bamboozling their access to actually live the life that they are given right now.
I have a question for you, Tony, and this is gonna be real funny because you probably never thought I'd ask you this. Remember when you was preaching so hard to Dad and you almost got him? I remember when you thought you had Dad, and that's when I was like,
I just knew it.
14, 15. I said, things are not.
I got him to come to a meeting or two.
You got him to come to some meetings. You got him to not just Sundays. He came to a theocratic ministry school meeting along with the service meeting.
Yeah. And I mean, our life was just as a brief jump into a part of our experience. Our mother took our faith so seriously that as we were constantly thinking the world is soon to end, when I became the age of high school and my brother would be then in 10th grade, when the idea was proposed of doing homeschooling, it was very easily accepted because, again, the world is about to end. And I would love for my boys to focus more on spiritual things anyway. And one thing that happened during that time period, she went to the brothers, and I remember this clearly. She said, since my boys aren't going to be at public school, a part of their curriculum, I want them to give as many talks as they can. So we started to give, I don't know if you remember that year, that very first year, we gave nearly a talk every month, and she let them know that anytime a substitute was needed, we were the first to be called if needed, because most of our work was impromptu and we were good on the last minute.
And that is why from the last video, that talk that my cousin prepared for me,
you had so much. Yeah, going back to that story. Why you had faith in yourself.
And it wasn't even in front of the main audience. It was in the second school. So it was very very interesting with that. We are not going to get sidetracked. You're going to see where where I'm picking up at.
So yes, Keisha, there is hope for you and your mom. Do not lose sight of the ability that tomorrow can bring. You just do not know.
Yeah, you just keep it funky, as Cam Newton says. Just live your life and be you. What I want to do is I want to read some of these comments, and the only reason I'm reading these comments is because it's showing anybody that just have a slight thought, like, is this off? Should I not be here? Just let the word speak to you, and that is the word of the person. See, with me, you're not going to see me pick up a Bible. Shout out to Young Court. He'll be coming through on a few episodes. He has some experiences that he wants to share as well. But you may see him with a Bible in his hand, and that type of banter I don't engage in. I really come on, puppies. Stop it, puppies. I really go off of how I feel.
They said, don't you bring no Bibles.
Yeah. What? So if you could just pick up right under Keisha's comment, you see you got them right there.
Yeah, we got one from Rodman letting us know that your channel popped up in his feed, and that he had left 2019 officially, and that he still has an older brother as an elder that does not rock with him anymore, and that the JWs are a straight cult in his opinion.
And I also left him a comment, and I let him know that we rock with him, as long as he is upstanding, good citizen, just morally, just be a good person. We're not going to put all these crazy stipulations on you. Just don't kill people and do other crazy shit. But you can have a beard and be my friend.
Comment.
Wow.
One comment.
Can you imagine, like, being in the Kingdom Hall and seeing your friend, and you're like, oh, he's growing a beard. That means his thoughts are bad.
That shadow's at about 6 o'clock.
If it gets to 9, I'm out of here. This bar closes at 9.
There was a comment I wanted to specifically get your response to, because it really hit right on the fact of thinking that your message is someone else's life too. And there was a wonderful comment that was left in regards to someone else's experience. And let's see, he wanted to let us know. Just had it here now. It done slipped away. We're gonna find it.
Come on, Randolph. Get it together, Randolph.
And it was right on this. There it is. So we have a comment from one of the users here, and he says, my cousin was a JW, and he could not do sports, even though scouts were looking at his pitching at 14 years old. So you're right about the sports. So again, those stories, those experiences that we feel like that you've sat on for 20 years and maybe not have vocalized what that did to you, you see the power instantly of stepping out on that ledge and sharing that experience and realizing instantly you've got brothers and sisters out there who lived that same exact experience and had to spend those nights crying on their pillow that their potential was going to be not used in that way.
It hurt me to this day. And like I said, and I really didn't, I don't know. It's like the way you realize stuff. It was just like, I didn't watch a draft and cry. because I was like, oh, this is connected to anything. I was crying because somebody was backing somebody up. And for me, it didn't. I was like, "Ooh, that looks nice. I like the way that looks. That looks very nice. Everybody's dressed so nicely, and it's just somebody right next to him, a mom and a dad, gassing somebody up, and it was probably like the 2000, maybe like 17, 18. I think it was around when Jamar Chase got drafted, and he hugged his dad. And I didn't know why I was crying. I didn't know why I was crying. I knew that was real dope. And I knew that it's almost like I like to do music. And it's like hearing people rap, it's like I could do that. It's like when you know you got it, you got it. It's like Tim Tebow. He was way slower, but he was smart. He got it. And I watched Jamar Chase get drafted. And his family. It's the way they embraced him. I was crying. I was like, why am I crying? This is not a time to cry. But I didn't know what I was feeling. I didn't know that empty feeling was taken from me by a man in a suit. I just decided, without even seeing me perform, he decided that could be taken away from me. I'm sorry, y'all.
Gotta let it out.
If your son or your daughter is a little bit better at something than the rest of them kids, it's like I realized Zay is way faster than every other kid I ever seen him compete against. And that's my son. I realized that I might be that dad one day. I can be that dad instead of taking that away from him. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, and that's it.
But
That's the thing though. You still get to live a part of that dream because the dream is the full picture. We don't necessarily get to be the person in that scene that we originally thought we were gonna be.
I didn't mean for this to go like this. I'm sorry.
No,
I was trying so hard.
But now your access in life is to allow your children's potential to shine, and in every way that they do, you have always manifested and used that in them.
He killed every tournament as does Drew, but I'm gonna tell you, it's just they special. And right now, we are miles apart.
Physically for the first time.
Just embrace your people. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. I been on the camera like 94 times before this. And I never did this. But just
yeah, and know that your opportunity is there. You get to be now the dad in that picture. In all the successes of your children, you get to be your dad.
Stop crying.
Exactly. And they won't understand the fact that when you were a kid, to no fault of your own, your feet were amputated. You know, and to think that that's those gifts that children have. You know, I wanted to go into public speaking and to be told, no, you're only going to speak here, but you need to look like this though, and you got to change this. So, but you're going to do that only here. It's like to have your dream turned somewhere else. It's powerful to know that that dream contained so much, and you still get to be a part of it. You get to be a part of it.
So anybody that's just like depressed and trying to get past it, live for your future self. Live for I have so many goals. I have so many things that, oh man, it's like I'm realizing that my kids are going to be the coldest people you ever brush shoulders with. I promise you that.
They already are.
And they are just to the fact that they have parents that are invested into them as people. Once again, y'all, I think I got it together. I'm sorry. Just thinking about what that felt like. It probably been just some emotions that I
And
have.
Keisha let you know it is okay, baby. We were all robbed of a normal childhood. And Kay said, facts, Keisha.
Shout out to the great parents out there, the parents that are, just, oh man, that was so hard. That was so hard. Y'all don't even know.
That's what it's about.
People are about to play football and I'm crying. It's so, like, I was good at football too, okay? But it was so different when I got on that diamond. It was like, it was the hand-eye coordination. It was just like so many ways that I could manipulate this game to just be better. It was so many things that spoke to once you find out how to do something, stay with it. Because I never saw nobody hit the baseball with their elbow in 4 different places. It's like, no, you find out how to do this and you go about it. So if you happen to grow a beard and be a good man, you're not a bad man. There's something wrong with you because you have a beard. Shout out to my cousins that they used to call me Bin Laden. I'm all in 17 and 18. Bin Laden. Oh, I'm glad I got that out, y'all. I really am. I don't
It's cathartic.
I don't know.
You gotta let it out.
I don't know what corner to turn.
And that's the purpose of this part of your podcast journey is to
cry.
Is to let it out. Is to get it out.
I never thought I was.
Let it breathe.
Oh, shout out to Jamar Chase too. He is a Cincinnati Bengal. Y'all probably see. I'm a Browns fan. He probably might be a Browns fan. Oh, that was tough. Whew. That was heavy. That was heavy.
Let it sit on you. Let it sit on you.
Oh, well, I don't think I have anything else. Just know, even if you yourself, if you have the athletic ability and you just nobody's not tapping in with it, and you're like, okay, just believe in yourself. If you have kids that are special, as most of them are, put that battery in their back.
That is a beautiful thing, is to know that everyone has something that is their spark, and that's really our message. Whatever that unique thing is beautiful to know that you're now placed in a part of your life where you'll be able to nourish whatever spark you see. If it's a spark, you're going to have the kindling. If you see them putting out water, you're going to be sitting there with the bucket to help contain it. Whatever their special thing is, you have now put yourself in a position to be ready. And believe it or not, people who aren't witnesses and who are raised as a Baptist or raised as a agnostic something, they were still raised in a world that bamboozled them into the world belief on banking or the world belief on this or that or the color purple. And the reality is that oftentimes they're now raising their children with those same arbitrary parameters that will rob their children from the fullness that life could give them, and to know that you're now opening yourself up to let it out. It means that when your children come to you with their interests, your response is going to be totally different than what you were met with, in regards at least to
Yes, that went in.
that line of your life.
Hey, y'all. It's been fun.
It has.
But it's time for Andrea and Steve's son to run. Remember, cleanliness travels like defense. Paper towels work good when you have a lot of tears. We are going to get some more of y'all comments and interaction with us. Shout out to Keisha for rocking for the whole episode. I hope that you and your mom can reconnect. You know, it's just it is what it is at this point, but tomorrow will be better. We can assure you of that. Brother, do you have anything else that's burning a hole in your soul?
I'm just excited to be here with you, man.
Man, don't.
Cause he's your brother.
Oh my God, Scar, brother.
And I'm looking forward to continuing this part of the series with you in your podcasting journey, and to let our experiences hopefully shine a light for everyone else. The tunnels got light at the end.
Yeah, it got light at the end. It got tears at the end. It has a son that's probably going to be in the NFL or the NBA at the end. That boy fast as Tyreek Hill. I'm trying to tell y'all. It's like, I would hate to play tag with that dude. Like, he's special, man. He's special. He's special, and I love him to death, and I love all my kids to death. Ariana, Lil Drewski, and Lil Zay. So like we said, it's been fun. We're going to run. Cleanliness travel like defense. I don't got that else more to say. I think Drew lost that game of Madden in there. Bye, y'all.
Mama, I love you.